Ofsted's value dimensions are a framework used to compare cultural differences between countries. Here are some key differences between Japan and the United States in terms of these dimensions. Japan has a higher power distance score of 54 compared to the United States that has a score of 40. The United States has a significantly higher individualism score of 91 compared to Japan at 46. Japan has a higher masculinity score of 95 compared to the United States at 62. Japan has a higher uncertainty avoidance score of 92 compared to the United States 46. Japan is considered a high context culture where communication relies heavily on nonverbal cues, indirect language, and silence to convey meaning. The United States is considered a low context culture where communication is more direct and relies heavily on verbal messages. The cultural norms in Japan and the dominant culture of the United States differ in several ways. Here are some key differences. Japan is a collectivist culture, emphasizing group harmony and loyalty. The United States is an individualistic culture, valuing personal freedom and individual achievements. Japan has a strong emphasis on hierarchy and respect for authority, and individuals are expected to show respect for those in higher positions. In the United States, while there is still respect for authority, there is a flatter hierarchy and individuals are encouraged to question authority and express their opinions. In Japan, the concept of self is often defined in relation to others and the group. In the United States, there is a greater emphasis on individual identity and personal achievements. If I were to visit Japan, several factors might contribute to culture shock. Here are some potential causes. Japan is a complex system of social etiquette and customs that may differ greatly from what Americans are accustomed to. Bowing, removing shoes indoors, and specific rules for dining and gift giving can be unfamiliar. The strict adherence to social roles and formalities are different from the more informal culture I am used to here. Japan has a rich cultural heritage with numerous unique traditions and festivals celebrated throughout the year. Here are some notable traditions. In spring, when cherry blossoms bloom across the country, people gather in parks for parties and picnics. The Japanese tea ceremony is another highly ritualized tradition that emphasizes mindfulness, harmony, and respect. New Year's is one of the most important holidays in Japan. It's a time for family gatherings, visiting shrines or temples, and enjoying traditional foods. There are several nonverbal behaviors in Japanese culture that may have different meanings or interpretations in the United States. Here are a few examples. Bowing is a common form of greeting, showing respect and expressing gratitude in Japan. The depth and duration of the bow can convey different levels of respect or formality. In the United States, handshakes are more common as a greeting, and bowing may be seen as unusual or overly formal. In Japanese culture, silence is often used to convey respect and attentiveness. In the United States, silence in conversation may be interpreted as awkward or uncomfortable. In Japan, prolonged direct eye contact can be seen as impolite or confrontational, especially when speaking to someone of a higher status. In the United States, direct eye contact is generally seen as a sign of attentiveness and honesty. As the result of my research, I learned several things that might help me become more culturally competent if I were to visit this culture. I learned about polite language and the importance of indirect communication. I also learned about Japanese social norms and customs, such as bowing and bowing and gift giving. Finally, I learned about the various traditional festivals and celebrations in Japan, such as cherry blossom viewing, the tea ceremony, and New Year's celebrations. These things helped me learn and understand more about Japanese culture.